Yo, welcome to another exciting episode of the Beards and White Toes podcast. I am your host, Sam Williams, also known as the Bearded One, and of course, the lovely, the beautiful, my friend. I ain't gonna say all y'all friend, because apparently a lot of y'all don't fuck with her like that. No, I'm just playing. I do, if nobody else does.
Then that's what matters.
Miss Kimberly. Okay, for sure. Miss Kimberly with the Y. How you doing today?
I'm cool. I'm good today. So you want me to jump straight into my temperature check?
Yes. If that's how you feel, go for it.
No, so I don't know what.
Real quick. You kind of.
You so stupid. Don't start with me.
You kind of cute today, man.
But you kill me. Well, thank you first.
I was gonna say, at least say thank you.
Thank you first. But you kill me when you be like, today. Like, do I be raggedy any other time? Like, you killing me.
You be at peace.
And so for the ones that missed that, that's when I always.
You ain't got to just you be at peace. She be peaceful. You ain't got to worry about nothing else.
Okay.
Go ahead with your temperature check though.
I don't know. So it's March.
Okay.
And that is killing me. Because time is flying.
This is true.
Like, time is flying, and week before last, I was like, you know. And so this past week, it was still kind of like, not this week, Satan. Like, people are really trying me, but I keep it together. So I'm going to still say my week was cool. I made it through it. It was kind of a blur, but here we are.
Right.
So
I'm glad you made it.
I'm not even going to trip on it.
So happy you made it.
I'm not going to trip.
I'm glad you made it.
You and me both.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, this past week there were highlights and there were lowlights. I'll save the positive energy for last so we can have some strong momentum going into our topic, because I feel like today is the day.
Absolutely.
With our topic, we need to have some strong affirming energy to pass to our listeners. And man, because I've been feeling this one for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know.
I just felt like this was one of those weeks where, energy had to be maintained.
See.
I had a couple of events this week, outings I went to, and there was one particular outing that I went to support a friend, and wasn't necessarily treated the way that I thought that I should have been treated. My friend and myself, we went to this establishment to go support a homie, and we walk in, and you know how you feel when you walk in somewhere and people kind of like, they look at you crazy, like what the fuck you doing here?
This is not one of those spots where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, I ain't trying to go to cheers. I'm trying to cheer up by coming here to be here with y'all. But that night kind of flipped a little bit, because I was able to enjoy toward the end, because the friend that I was with that particular night, he's free spirited.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my boy Rasta, man. Shout out to my homie Rasta, man. He was with me that night.
I love his energy.
We were, I was looking to, I was trying to get my spirits up that particular day. And so he was like, well, usually I'll go to his crib. And he was like, nah, let's just go hit a bar or something. I was like, all right, for sure then. So I started looking around, and all of a sudden I see that there's this event going on, and they do karaoke. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I'm not singing shit, but I know my homie will get up there and blaze a mic. So
and blaze he did.
That motherfucker went nuts, man. I ain't never been to a karaoke where a person then got a standing ovation. You feel me? Bro messed around and turned that bitch up so much so that the lady that was kicking it with her homie next to us, she fucked around and bought us drinks.
That's why you had to be taken care of the next day.
Listen, I'm gonna just say this. Since we have it on camera, this right here, this Alexander James, when I say it's stronger than our people, Black History Month is over. However, you drink this shit, Black History Month is 365 because this shit
I promise.
definitely took care of your boy, me and the homie, man. But anyway, we messed around and just got a chance to just say, you know what, fuck what other people in here may think. We gonna show them who we are. And so by the time we left out of that establishment that night, everything just felt better, except for me. Real quick, hey, this is my camera right here.
Yes.
Can I tell a real? So
Knock yourself out.
I just want to just say it's always great to have strong friends. Thank you so much, Kym, for sending me a care package from wherever the fuck you was at, because there was no way, and I had to work the next day.
What you were texting me, I'm like, this fool gonna die. Like, because you're not a drinker.
I was that night though.
No, you weren't, because that's why I had to send care packages the next morning.
Listen.
You're not a drinker.
I do it again. Just not tonight. We'll probably do it next Wednesday. After karaoke. That's when we'll do it.
I'm gonna block you. I'm going to block you.
I'll just be better prepared next time. But anyway, so saying all that to say, that was one of the low moments that turned into a positive moment. But of course, I base my temperature check off of my therapy, sessions. And so this week, it was one of those sessions where my energy was off still. And we talked, shout out to my therapist, Washington. You know what I'm saying? We were talking. And one of the things that we discussed was, the importance of maintaining yourself in a moment when, things may be uncomfortable, or they may feel, feel a little off. And another, conversation I had with somebody I'm very close to had mentioned, some of their struggles. And I got it. I understood it because I was there. Sometimes when we feel as if we have something that we need to get off our chest, it makes our chest tighter because we can't say what we need to say.
Yep.
I always feel like now, since I've been in therapy, I just finished 4 sessions.
Okay.
So, is it 4? Yeah, 4. Yeah, I just finished 4 sessions. This was the one session that I really didn't have. I needed to do more listening and talking, where I felt like everything that Washington has said to me, I felt like I needed to say to my homie in that regards. Like, you know what? Sometimes we have to just say, fuck what other people got to say about us. If I got something I need to say, then we'll just say it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes preserving your energy, you have to worry about that after the fact. Preserving it and utilizing it, if you use it, you got to make sure that you can replenish it.
Right.
Be around people who can help you replenish your energy. You feel me? And so I told my homie, like, look, Simba had to practice getting his roar right before he became the king of the jungle. You feel me? And so I told that person, be Simba. Be Simba. One day, you'll be king. So with my camera at again, hey.
Like you forgot.
Look, it's for drama, okay? It's a dramatic.
Lord knows you're dramatic.
Oh, hush. Anyway, hey, to my homie out here, because I know you watching this show, be Simba. Let your voice be heard. Say whatever the fuck you need to say and be unapologetic for it.
Yep. You
know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, my homie felt better. I felt better by just, because he didn't know what the fuck I was going through prior to all of that. And I put all my shit to the side to make sure that I was available for that person, because at the end of the day, we all human. We all, we're all human. Mistakes happen, things happen. But if you're able to just say, you know what, let's move forward and let's just go ahead and act like it never happened, and that's the best, to me, that's the best way to solve a problem. So, that's kind of actually what we're going to lead. And I want to lead into our topic before we break. So today's topic is about emotional intelligence and vulnerability.
Also known as emotional quotient or EQ.
EQ, right. So making sure that, we're able to get our feelings out, but also make sure that when we get our feelings out, that we're respectful of the other person's feelings that we're dealing with.
But not even just getting them out, having the ability to be aware of them, to get them out. So awareness as well as regulation.
Yeah.
Because there's a way to get, like you just said, respectful. There's a way to get your feelings out. Some people like, oh my God, I'm in education. And when I tell you EQ is kind of low.
That shit not just low for people in education. That shit low for about 95% of the fucking population. I don't even think that population even know EQ exists.
They don't, and it's kind of sad. Because like I'm the type, and I told a coworker this the other day. Shout out to my former coworker Leslie, because she is one of the GOATs as far as teaching goes. And I learned 2 words from her that made my educational career so much better. And they're so simple. Do you know what those 2 words are?
What's that?
Okay, great.
All right. And from your mouth to our ears, shout out to Leslie.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to start tapping into the topic of emotional intelligence, what it is, and we're going to tie that into vulnerability as well. So in today's episode of the Beards and White Toes, we're going to tap into something that I feel, we all need to hear this. Mm-hmm. As you all know, a lot of the topics that we talk about are based on the climate of, what we see in social media, what we hear amongst ourselves. And today, we're talking about EQ and vulnerability. So forgive me for having to pull my phone out, because I just want to make sure that I'm straight to facts and I'm not just talking out my ass. So first of all, what is the definition of emotional intelligence? The ability to identify and manage one's own emotions as well as other people's emotions. Okay. And there's 5 parts to that. Part 1, social skills. The second one, self-awareness. The next one is self-regulation. 4th is empathy. And last is motivation. So let me tap into each one real quick. So social skills. Effective at managing relationships that benefits everyone involved. Okay. Second, motivation. Being motivated consists of enjoying what you do, working towards achieving goals, and not being motivated by money or status.
You done? Did you just tell on yourself? You done?
No.
I'm just messing with you.
I was about to say, because you know me.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Because a nigga ain't got it. But anyway, the next one, empathy. Able to identify and understand others' emotions. That's huge. Mm-hmm. Self-regulation allows you to wisely manage your emotions and impulses.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a big one. And then the last one, self-awareness, the ability to recognize your own emotions, strengths, limitations, and their impact on others around you. All right, and then there's also another diagram that I wanted to tap into. It's the emotional intelligence, recognition versus regulation, like you mentioned. So under self for recognition. So for self-awareness, you have self-awareness, self-assessment, self-confidence. Mm-hmm. All right. And then there's also social. So social awareness, empathy, approachable, good listener, organizational awareness. All right. And then, like I said, there's also the second tier, which is regulation. So self-management, self-control, transparency, achievement, adaptability, initiative, and optimism. And then for relationship management, you have influence, inspirational leadership, coach and mentor, conflict management, teamwork and collaboration, and change catalyst.
Okay, do me a favor.
Go ahead.
Pause for 1 second.
Go ahead.
Shout out to cousin Shanice, because you opened up this rabbit hole and he has been going down it ever since. So,
man.
And it's necessary though. Like, all of that's super important. So, but shout out to cousin Shanice.
Yeah, shout out to Cuzzo, man. I love you all the way in Arizona. Thank you for teaching me something that I felt like was one of those things that will push me over the top, not in just my personal relationships, but my romantic relationships and my business relationships as well. So let's tap into that.
Okay.
I feel like where we are as a generation, okay, I feel like a lot of people, like I mentioned, don't even know what that is.
Nope.
So therefore, they can't live through emotional intelligence. Their EQ isn't very high.
I heard somebody say, you mean IQ?
No,
Nah,
EQ.
I mean EQ. I meant what I said.
We don't care if you're smart. I mean, that's cool.
Right.
But are you able to handle interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships and situations? That's the main thing. Go ahead, Kym. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You were talking. I actually interrupted you.
Okay.
Low key. Like,
I just feel like in the way of the world today, I know I mentioned this in one of our episodes when we talked about, you know, being desensitized and whatnot. I feel like now more than ever, because we have been exposed to so much, we don't particularly care for other people's feelings except for our own. And even with that, do we even really know how to channel our own feelings? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So self-awareness is one of those, you know, points for EQ. You don't know what type of person you are if you can't, you know, if you can't figure out who you are, you're never going to be able to help somebody else understand themselves.
Because you don't understand yourself.
That's why they say if you go get advice from somebody, don't get advice from a broke nigga trying to make, you know, and you trying to make money. Don't do that. Because if they had the answers, would they? You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, because, you know, you got some broke people that went broke from making bad decisions. Not saying they don't know how to get themselves back, but you got people that ain't never been in a particular situation, and they trying to tell you how to, you know, manage your money. Or I'll do you one better. I went through this personally. Never talk to single people about your marriage. Okay? Never talk to single people about your marriage. Never talk to single people about your relationship.
One, like, I don't get in married people's business. I ain't been there before.
That ain't got nothing to do with.
I can't tell you nothing. I ain't had one.
Talk about self-awareness. Pull yourself out of that situation and be strong enough to say, I can't help you with this. Mm-hmm. Because one thing about single people and people who may be married but they're unhappy in their marriage, they're going to give you advice that they would do for themselves, not realizing that their situation is totally different from what the other person is going through. Mm-hmm. I dealt with that shit for the last 2 years of my marriage. Granted, I wasn't married very long, but for those last 2 years, advice was coming from both sides, from her side, from my side, and we never could find common ground. So understanding self-awareness, let's tap back into that again real quick. Being able to recognize when you're at fault. Being able to recognize that, okay, before I can help somebody mend their fence, let me mend mine. But I think my favorite one, let me go back to it. My favorite one out of all of them, because this is kind of where we are right now, is motivation.
Okay. That one, I feel like that a lot of people, they take that word for surface.
Yeah.
And then leave it alone, not understanding how deep that actually goes.
Yeah.
Motivation is tricky as hell because what motivated me today may not be my motivation tomorrow.
Right.
It changes, it fluctuates, and then knowing how to roll with that too. Because at that point it's like, well, damn, some people don't know what motivates them. Right.
And everybody's motivation is different. But I'll tell you this for my own personal self, you know, let's never forget where we came from with this podcast, Kym.
That part.
We on a totally different couch with a totally different space. Not one time did we ever talk about being motivated by trying to make as much money as we can. Granted, we want to.
That would be nice.
That would be fucking amazing. But we didn't get into this for that. We
were having fun.
And we're still having fun.
And we had some shit to say, so we said it.
We said what we had to say, and look at where that shit put us, on another motherfucker's couch. You feel me? And when people can see your energy, when they can feel your energy, when they see that, you know, you're not motivated by the things that they say they can offer you, when they can see that you move freely, things just start to happen. You know, good energy will find you.
Absolutely.
Good energy will always find you. Bad energy is trying to find you, and you can only let it in if you allow it. But good energy is that energy you have to receive it. You have no choice. And a lot of people don't know how to receive that because why? They lack EQ. So you get on me a lot, okay? Ooh, old. That didn't feel good. But anyway, we talk a lot about my own situations, and I talk to you about yours. And one thing you always say to me is that I'm always, quote unquote, trying to save somebody.
Captain Savo.
I ain't saving no hoes, but I'm just trying to help. Okay?
Your opinion is your own.
Okay.
You're entitled to it.
Whatever, man. But anyway, we've already addressed that. You didn't have me sprawled out on this couch trying to figure out what the fuck was going on in my life. And so I just want to just say thank you for making me feel like a shit person.
Shut up.
Okay. I can't shut up.
You know good and daggone well you didn't feel like no shit person.
I didn't, because therapy helps. Okay. I had to talk to my therapist about how you made me feel. No, I'm just playing. I didn't have to.
I was gonna say, and what do you say?
Nothing. Because I ain't talked to him, but I'm just talking shit.
Okay.
But anyway, in my heart, I want to be able to use another part of EQ, which is empathy. I try to put myself in that person's place and try to help them walk out of that situation. My issue always became, though, and it's not even just with women I was interested in. It was all people. You know, you try to help folks out and you wonder, like, I'm giving you all that I can give. I'm giving you everything that I can give you. And you still doing the same shit, and you might actually be doing shit worse now. And one thing I had to just start doing was just pulling myself out of those certain situations, because it's like I'm pouring into you and I'm wasting all my energy just so you can go back and do the same shit.
You're muddying your own awareness.
Right.
And at that point, so there's nothing wrong with helping. There's nothing wrong with wanting to help. But there's a boundary, there's a fine line between helping and taking it on. Transfer and exchange of energy is real.
Yeah.
So while you're trying to help someone, they're trying to get helped.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now you're taking on all these burdens for this person or these people. They feel good now.
Right.
Why? Because now you're carrying their burdens.
Yeah.
You're carrying the brunt of their weight. You're holding all of their stuff so they can go off.
We holding their bags.
All of it.
Somebody that finally came through and helped me with some of these bags, but some of these bags heavy as a bitch.
Heavy as hell. And like you, and that's why I would get on you, because it's like the awareness. You have to know when to stop. You have to know when to walk away.
Right.
And it's okay to walk away because you've done all you can for you're not a therapist. I used to say that all the time at our, you know what I'm saying? When we first started, that was one thing that I used to say all the time, that we are not licensed. We are not professionals. We just.
Hold on. For now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Quick little. Go ahead.
You be so excited. Anyway, but it's okay to say, like, I can't do this. You know what I mean? Like, I've done all that I can. I have to stop now. And you don't have to feel bad for it. Because the thing about a taker is they're going to keep taking. The thing about a giver, they're going to keep giving. So you can keep giving, but that person's going to keep taking, and you won't have anything left, and they'll be just fine. And now you're going to be laid out across somebody's couch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
because that shit really fucking happens.
Like, literally. And I'm speaking, it happened to me too.
Like, I don't think people understand. You feel energy. Like, I was taught when you meditate, you got to do certain breathing exercises just so you can go ahead and release some tension off of certain body parts, like your spleen or your shoulders. It's like the saying goes, letting the weight of the world fall off your shoulders. that shit is mad heavy for real. Like that energy is so heavy that it's like, ugh.
And you be walking around not even knowing why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Because you have legitimately taken on someone else's energy. You have legitimately taken on someone else's problems.
Why they sitting around this motherfucker?
Not losing an ounce of sleep, not losing a wink of sleep.
Making you feel like the worst person in the world. Making you feel like you didn't... What the fuck did I do wrong?
And transfer and exchange of energy.
And then they ghost you. So, fuck y'all. Stay where y'all at. Thank you for playing. But, with that being said... We're going to take another short break on the Beers and White Toast podcast because when we come back, we're going to talk about how emotional intelligence ties into vulnerability and why.
That's another big word, too. Vulnerability.
Yeah. Hey, it's a lot of syllables in that, and it's a big word, and a lot of people can't say it. And because a lot of people can't say it, they don't know how to be it. So, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence, vulnerability, and what I really want to tap into is, you know what? There's women out here that men say you can't talk to, but we're going to talk about why men feel that they can't talk to women and why women feel they can't communicate with other men. So we'll be back in just a moment. So, as mentioned in the previous segment, vulnerability is huge. Only problem is there's a lack of it for reasons, we previously mentioned, the lack of emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. Kym, you're a woman. Okay. Somebody I revere is one of my best friends, if not my absolute best friend. In social media, in the climate of what's going on right now, you and I have both seen that a lot of men have posted on their social medias, and there's memes out there saying that, one thing you can't do is express your feelings to a woman. Mm-hmm. Hearing that as a woman, how does that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It's tragic, actually. And I think maybe it's because the type of woman I am for certain people. So like, you're one of them. You express vulnerability with me. We have those deep, uncomfortable conversations.
Shout out to Alexander James for helping make conversations very, very honest and very, very brutal. Continue. And then we also have, those kind of, like it runs the gamut, and it's not just you. It's, I have other male friends who, I tell them all the time, like, if you need somebody to talk to, I will listen. I will listen to you. I'm not here to, I'm not gonna knock a man for showing his feelings, because it's at the same time, y'all are still humans. Y'all still have emotions, y'all still have feelings, all of that. Now, does that mean like I want somebody snot nose crying on my shoulder every other day? No. But I'm just saying, like, come on, like, what if
I don't even do that. I don't even do that.
Okay, but what if the shit that deep to where he need that?
Then now we're at the point where you're my friend, I love you, but let's find you somebody that's better equipped to deal with this.
Okay.
All joking aside,
I agree.
Because if you're snot crying on my shoulder every other day, baby, your issues are deeper than anything.
Coming in that bitch looking like Trey, swinging at the air and shit.
Right. Sliding down walls and shit.
Hey, that only happened once. And I didn't know you then.
You did not. But I'm just saying.
I was 15 when I slid down the wall. That was the first time a girl broke my heart.
But I'm just saying.
But I'm better now. Kinda. I'm in therapy for it.
I go to therapy for this shit.
I do go to therapy for that shit.
No, but for real. It's like super heartbreaking when I see stuff like, and I have actually reached out to guys that I don't really know. Like, it's more of a social media friendship. You become best friends with some people on social media you've never even talked to before a day in your life.
I know.
And so, like, I've reached out, like, look, I don't know you. I'm not trying to be intrusive, but if you need somebody to talk to just to listen, for a minute, I'll listen. And then on top of that, no judgment.
Ooh, that part.
Like, I don't judge because, baby, I know I'm not perfect. I know on some levels I'm fucked up. But, so who am I to judge? You know what I mean? Like, that's another issue too. You can't be vulnerable because there's fear of judgment.
Yeah.
And then also what I've noticed too was really big, at least from what I'm told, is what's being told in confidence is later used as ammunition.
Ooh. And that's where I was hoping you would go. I feel like men are afraid to be honest with women because they will use that shit treat that shit like the big joker. When they're losing in an argument and they want to hurt that man, the easiest way to emasculate a man is by taking his most vulnerable moment and using it against them.
Church.
That is the absolute, man, fuck that. It's some
Okay, so wait. So wait, but let me ask you this though. Like, at that point, I feel like at that point all bets are off. Yeah, all bets are off. Like, it's done at that point. But I'm gonna be honest with you, and you know what? You already know I don't care about being a villain. I don't care about being a bad guy. I don't care who like me, who doesn't. Some women might feel some type of way about this.
Say your shit.
Oh, well.
I'll take a drink with you.
You sure you want me? Oh, I can drink now.
For this episode, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he tried to cut me off. He told me I couldn't drink no more.
Cheers. I want to hear this. Say your shit.
All right. So if we're being honest, those are the women who have a very low, if maybe non-existent EQ. They don't know how to just communicate. They feel the need to dig deep. They feel the need to leave a scar. And so I may not have a leg to stand on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw back at you what you told to me in confidence. And I really hate that because of the simple fact that we women, you don't tell me, you don't talk to me, you don't, but a lot of women don't give men the space to do that.
No, they don't.
So why the fuck would he say something to you if he knows that later on your vindictive, spiteful ass is just going to throw it back at him? I mean, I'm not, and I told you when we first started the podcast back in July, on the couch in your office, I told you that my views would probably get me labeled a certain way. I don't care because this shit is real. A lot of women don't own up to their shit.
And that's a part of emotional intelligence.
And what did I say? A lot of women lack it.
Yeah.
So like hey, I try to be a safe space for you.
You don't try, you are.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever used anything.
Sometimes she'll slam the safe doors on my fingers, but they still work.
And I mean, it's just like because, well, first of all, you're that for me. So I'm big on reciprocating energy. But because I see it so much. Black men, and I'm saying black men because that's where we are. Black men. Know that. I said where we are.
Don't hit me.
See, I'll be trying to be. Can I finish? Are you done?
I'm finished and I'm done.
Thank you. Okay, so black men, it seems like they're hurting. They are hurting. Yeah. And they need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to understand them. And in my opinion, who better than a black woman? Y'all came from us, right?
Absolutely.
We are all supposed to be in this together. So then why aren't we dealing with this stuff together?
Right. And so, like I said, as a man, wanting to have, if I look at you as my soulmate, if I look at you as somebody that I want to, that I trust as far as, friendship, because strong relationships happen through strong friendships. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was married. I know how that shit go. My ex-wife and I, we weren't really friends towards the end. We were more like roommates, almost in a sense. Early on in our relationship, when I did consider her my best friend, I was able to tell her any and everything without judgment. And I can honestly say, even beyond our irreconcilable differences, that's a college word, and they learn that word in law school. Irreconcilable differences, that's the divorce term, because it's on my papers. But anyway, by the way, 7 years. It's on them papers from 7 years ago, March 19th. No album dropping, but them divorce papers is still out there in their public view. But anyway, even beyond our differences in our marriage, and once we realized that our marriage was, it was done, we were still able to maintain some sense of respect for each other to talk. But now, I mentioned my marriage for a reason. Let's reverse the roles. Okay? As a man, when women come to us a lot of times to try to, talk about their day, or we try to, you all try to talk to us about things that you're going to, a lot of times we don't know how to receive that because we've never had anybody to receive ours. So if you've never experienced it, you don't know how to respond to it. And I think that's where there's a disconnect between male communication and female communication. By nature, women are technically nurturers, and men are technically the providers. We're rough, we're rugged. You know what I'm saying? Whatever problems we have, we're supposed to take them on as our own and deal with them accordingly as men. And I think that's a big problem with our community, especially black men, especially because two things that are really, really strong in our bloodline is ego and